Gen X, Millennial Zs. That was not a typo, and they sent that out to you. I call that booming Gen X, Millennial Zs, how we can work together. And the power of bringing us together, I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. But first, let's start with a stat. I love stats. Now, I wish I would have loved stats when I was at CSU as much, but any Rams in the room, by the way? Any Rams? No Rams? All right. I'm sure there's some bolder people in the room, probably. I got woo over there. $850 billion. So there's an issue. People are not just the issue in workplaces. Profit is also an issue. And I'm going to get back to this number, so hang on. We're going to share what this number actually represents. But let's talk about the workplace. Let's talk about how today's workplace has not one, not two, not three, not even four, but 5 generations are working today. A lot of people don't want to retire. We're having fun working. And the thing is, when you have all of those generations working together, I know communication can break down because we all have a different way of communicating and working and all of the things. And we're going to talk about those stereotypes and the myths, and we're going to bust them. But the potential is incredible when we embrace all 4 to 5 of the generations. Now, I want you to imagine this. Seriously, imagine this. It's an American company, Anywhere, USA. You have Margaret, Rob, Jasmine, and then we've got our Gen Z. So, let's talk about what's happening in this meeting. At one end of the table is Margaret. Margaret is a leader. She's got plenty of experience. Margaret's our boomer, so she's over 60. But they're whispering behind her back, shouldn't she be retiring? And then some are saying, she's in the workplace too long. She's taking my job. Yeah, that's what they're saying. And then you have Gen X, our Gen Xer, Rob. They say Rob is a technophobe. They say that he is, he's the problem solver. But you don't rarely find him on his phone. And he prefers calls over texts. I hear some chuckling because some people are, Oh, and then we have Jasmine sitting across from those two, our Gen Y. That's millennial. Yeah, Jasmine she's all about, workplace balance. They whisper behind her back that she's entitled. She wanted a sabbatical when she was interviewing. She said, wait, can I get a sabbatical at some point? Because it's about workplace balance. That's what they say about Jasmine. Oh, and then we have our Gen Z, Alex. Gen Z, he's always on his phone. He shows up when he wants to. He might be in his soft clothes on Zoom. You guys know what soft clothes are? We all have on hard clothes today. So he has on his soft clothes down. But they're talking about him just, being restless in meetings. Those are all stereotypes. And they are not true in the least. But then, because we're talking students, coming up is Gen A, Gen Alpha. Did you know there's a Gen Alpha? Do you know that was what they're called? Yes? All right. So those are our teens that are coming up. But of course, she's not. She's working at the Gap or something, so she's not quite in this meeting. But I thought I would at least share with you that there is another generation coming up. But let's talk about busting some of these myths. Let's talk about our boomer who's ready to retire. She's not ready to retire. It's exactly what I said at the very beginning. She's enjoying where she is. She's exceeding. She loves her job. She's not looking forward to it. And I don't know how many people are over 60 in this room or over 55 in this room who are nowhere thinking about retirement. That is how it is today. I can't wait to share some more stats with you on that. Gen X, our technophobe Rob, he's not a technophobe. Do you know Gen X boomers are digital founders? We are digital founders. Who founded Microsoft? Who founded Apple? Who founded PlayStation? Who founded all of those companies that are tech companies? Ariana Huffington. She has 4 companies, including an AI company that she started in her 70s. So Rob's not a technophobe. He just that's his preferred way of communicating. That's it. Now, with his friends, he may be texting back and forth, and he'd be slacking it up or, back DMing each other and all the things. And then you've got our millennial who's entitled. Well, guess what? Her wanting that sabbatical and her wanting that workplace balance, it's good for all of us. As a Gen Xer myself, I kind of wish we would have had that opportunity to even talk about taking a few weeks off. Now, I probably wouldn't because I love working. I'm 59. Just turned 59, by the way. Can I get a yay? 3 days ago, October 7th. Okay, then we have Gen Z, tech absorbed. No. We like to say that they're lazy and that they come in, and I heard some of you that own businesses are getting some Gen Zs that I guess are immediately asking in their interviews, when can they get time off? Well, listen, if you're a Gen Z, don't do that, first of all. But they're not lazy. Heck, no, don't even raise your hand yet. We're going to talk about the generations in a minute. But that's what they called Gen Xers back in the day, that we were the slackers. We're the latchkey kids. We're the, all the things. That's what they stereotyped us. But we've got to drop those stereotypes. So here's what I want to know. Who's our Gen Z in the room? Now, I understand the students are in another room. Oh, actually students, so they'd be Gen Alpha. All right, any Gen Zs in the room? And I'm giving you the dates of your birth here. Gen Z, one Gen Z, you can raise higher. Be proud. We had another one. Look, there's another one, like an animal in the wild. There's another one. Okay, let's talk about millennials, Gen Y. Who are the millennials in the room? Okay. Awesome. Oh, someone's getting ready to raise for Gen X. Who's Gen X in the room? I get that response every time. I was just speaking at Advent Health yesterday at a women's summit. Gen Xers like, woo! So that means boomers. I want to hear from you, boomers in the room. Yes. Thank you. And you know what I'm not going to say? Okay, boomer. It's not fair. But that is who, I love that we're all in the room. Now, we need more Gen Zers, but we're talking about the power of us. So here's what I want to know. I would love to know, what other stereotypes about your generation are you hearing? And then we're going to bust it. So I'm not going to pick on anybody. I know we probably have some introverts. I'm not that person. He's going to say, will you tell me? But I would love for someone to be open and honest. What stereotypes have they heard about their generation? Anyone? Sure, come on, think about it. Yes. Do you want to stand up for me? Do you mind? Now, if that's, you don't have to. Okay. Hold on one second. Can we get a microphone in the room? No, thank you, Mr. James.
I feel like, or I've heard that Gen X feels like they're a forgotten generation, that they don't get any attention.
Yes. How do you feel about that?
I am Gen X, but I don't really feel forgotten, so I don't relate to it.
You do or you don't?
I do not relate to it.
You do not?
Yeah.
And so you just busted it. But what I will tell you is, we do find that Gen Xers and boomers and late stage millennials, those that are over 40, do feel that often in the workplace. They feel unseen, unheard, and told pretty much that they shouldn't, They just go without feeling that they're heard. And people are sort of not listening to them. That's their feeling. But that's why we're all here, is to talk about that, to bust that. So I'm glad you don't feel that way. That makes my heart sing. Let's talk about another one. And you can still be a Gen Xer. You could be a Gen Y. Let's talk about another one, and let's bust it. Anyone? Yay! And tell us your generation. By the way, I'm hot flashing.
I'm a millennial.
I have to take my jacket off. I'm making menopause okay to talk about it. I'm over it, but y'all, my hair's going to be this big by the end of the day because I'm going to be sweating. All right, go ahead.
I'm a millennial, and I've heard that millennials are considered lazy and unreliable in the workplace.
Yes.
Which I do not relate to. I work my butt off.
How do you show that? Tell us a little bit about what you do. Proving them wrong.
I work in commercial insurance, and when I first started with my agency that I work for, I was commission only. 1099, so I can show up when I want. I don't have to be there. And I was showing up early and staying late to show my boss, hey, I really want to be here. I'm serious. I want to work hard. And then I got offered a salary, which was huge for me.
Love that. Good for you.
Thank you.
Do we have another one that wants to share? Yes. I met you when I walked in. No, that was somebody else. Sorry.
No, that was Brad Pitt. I look like him. I mean, that's Gen Xers. We're all intelligent and attractive. That's one of the other ones. Yeah. But no, I've heard that millennials have entire bookshelves just.
Wait, are you millennial?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm old. I'm a Gen Xer. But
you are the Gen Xer. Okay.
But I have heard that millennials have entire bookshelves just filled with participation trophies.
See, now that is a myth.
This is my coworker, and he cannot handle not having a microphone, so just bear with me.
Now listen, that's the entitlement. That's all the things that we hear. Thank you for that. Incorrect. Is there a millennial in the room that wants to bust that? Another one? Let's get a millennial to bust that. Hold on. What? Oh, we got to hear that one out loud. One more time.
I would just say we did not give those trophies to ourselves. So if you want to assign blame here for participation trophies, it wasn't really us. Also,
saying Gen
they're not
Xers
on
did?
our shelves, they're in our parents' attics at this point.
But that's totally a myth. The reason is we are all individuals. And something you have to know is that we all bring row. Whatever you are doing, whether we have students or insurance folks or contractors in the room, 1099s, work from homers in the room, whatever you bring to your workplace and you do well at is your return on experience. Everybody has a return on experience, regardless of if you're over 60 or you're just starting out. Everyone has some sort of return on experience, life experience, work experience, all the things. So let's reimagine. Now that I told you that that's not absolutely true, or the participation medals, let's reimagine that boardroom. But let's reimagine it where they're actually respecting one another, where they actually are not snickering behind Margaret's back that she's too old. One of the words I hate, too old. 2 words. Whoops, 2 words. I went to school, I promise. 2 words. Together we are unstoppable. By the way, did the Broncos win last weekend? Because I forgot. We did, didn't we? Yeah. Love me some Broncos, but obviously I didn't watch the game. I was at an event that we were hosting. Anyway, we are unstoppable. We are powerful. When you bring us all together and we forego all of the jokes about us and the gray hair says that you're too old, and why is it that men are considered with the S word? I don't know if I can say it because we have teachers in the room, so, they look better than women do when they age and they get the gray. False. We all look great. But why does this matter? Because everyone works differently. Every single one of those people that I talked about are all individuals. There actually may be a Gen Xer who's a technophobe, but there also may be a Gen Zer who's not really into tech. There also may be a boomer who is really into tech. Met one yesterday at my conference. She was running the boards. She's 65. We all work differently. That's what we have to remember when we are working together. And here's a stat for you. The reason why we have to learn to work together, not only because I told you there are 4 for sure, and in some workplaces, 5 generations. 1 in 5 people by 2030, guess how old do you think they will be? 1 in 5 in America. 1 in 5. 70? Okay. Do we have another number? 55? 30? Do we hear 30? 30? 65. 1 in 3 people in America. We have to learn to work together. And because I just told you, we're not stopping. And today, 1 in 3 people are over 50 in America. How many of you are over 50? Let's do this. Be proud of that. Be proud of that. How many of you are in your 20s? Again, let's do the 20s. Let's give you a woo! 30s. Woo! All right, and 40s. 60s. Yes. 70 plus. Still working. Boom. So here are just the facts, ma'am. Age-diverse teams outperform. So we've got to learn how to work together. Inclusive cultures are more likely to innovate. They're more likely to thrive. And workers, sadly, of all age groups, have experienced or witnessed ageism. I'm going to give you exactly the stats behind this, but let me give you a story. So Gen Zers can also feel in their 20s. They can also feel ageism. I was working in San Antonio. I'm a mall girl. I used to be director of marketing of Park Meadows Retail Resort. That's what we call it. I learned never to call it a mall on my first day. It's retail resort. And but anyway, so I was in San Antonio, just fresh out of college, starting out as an assistant marketing director of a shopping center in San Antonio, Texas. And my boss, Mary, who I loved, I learned a lot from her, but I spoke up in a business meeting that she was having with a client. After that business meeting, Mary pulled me aside politely, and she said, "You are here to listen and learn. Basically, don't speak in the meetings. Just take notes." I said, okay, because that's what, as Gen Xers, I mean, she's our boss. We respect that. I am here to listen and learn. That's what I thought. That's ageism. That's her saying that in my 20s, I think I was 25, 26, that's her saying, you don't have the knowledge, the experience, the life to have a thought, an idea in that meeting. So here are the actual facts. When you all are finding ways to work with one another, you outperform by 30% when you have a multi-generational team. This is not 2 generations at your workplace, this is 3. This is a minimum of 4. You are outperforming by 30%. Your productivity is going up. Your innovation is going up. Your bottom line is going up. Inclusive cultures are 6 times, not 1 time, not 2 times, 6 times more likely to innovate and 9 times more likely to thrive. Because there's the feeling of belonging, that we all are on the same team, literally and figuratively. And 60% of us have witnessed or experienced the bias, which is our elephant in the room. Many elephants in the room. Ageism. And yesterday, by the way, it has its own day. Yesterday was National Ageism Awareness Day. There's actually, it's also National Menopause Month, ladies. But yesterday was Ageism Awareness Day. And as I said, anybody in this room can experience ageism. Sadly, if you think about it, and obviously I'm a black woman, I know the isms. This is the only ism that is allowed to be expressed on stages, in your homes, in workplaces, quietly, laughed about. This is the last remaining ism that is permitted. And of those companies that have DEI initiatives, only 8% of those companies even include this ism as one of the initiatives. By now, might even be lower. While he's doing that, I'll give you a little bit of my background, because some people are always curious, you went from malls to pro-age speaking? What? So I was a mall marketer. I was also in radio and TV for a bit, but my real jam was mall marketing. And what had happened was, when I left, when there were cuts being made at Park Meadows, I'm an expert in marketing and PR, and so I decided to start a marketing agency with a business partner that I had met when I was at Park Meadows. So we started this agency, and then in 2012, I think it was. And then what happened was, we decided, after successfully having this agency, we got burned out on being 1099s and doing the client thing. And I'm a corporate girl anyway. I like working for corporations. At least I did back then. And so Lupe and I decided, you know what? Let's give it up. Let's consciously uncouple. We all remember that term from back in the day with Gwyneth Paltrow and Coldplay. Coldplay, what's his name? Thank you, Chris. Yes. God, I wanted to see that when they came here. Anyway, so that was 2018, we consciously uncoupled. And I, at only 51, did you guys hear the operative word of only? 51 at the time in 2018, I tried desperately to find a job. Remember I told you marketing is my jam. I'm an international award-winning marketing director from the International Council of Shopping Centers. That's a thing. And so I had won many awards. And so for me, not to get an actual, wow, there is a real setup. My apologies. For me not to get a job, here's what happened. I sent over 100 resumes to get 5, I'm not exaggerating, over 100 resumes to get 5 interviews. By the way, got ghosted on one of those. Never showed up. So don't ghost people. Don't ghost. Only to get 0 job offers. 0. So I decided to start a company and do something about it. I decided to start SecondActWomen, spelled out, SecondActWomen.com, to help women over 40 who are experiencing ageism, because that's what was happening. I'm going to show you after this video. You all will get a kick out of an SNL skit that I think what the recruiters were probably thinking I was like, because they figured out, I'm guessing, because back then, you put your your dates of graduation. You all know it's illegal now in Colorado, July 1st of 2024. Do not put the graduation dates if you are seeking a new job. It's Colorado's way of eradicating ageism. So we started the company, SecondActWomen. We, as in, I asked Lupe to come back. I said, girl, I'm starting this company. And she said, I'll give you 20% of my time, because she was still looking for a job. And Sure enough, 4 months in, she was experiencing it. She said, I'm in. So we became co-founders. She now works for the state of Colorado. We consciously had coupled again. I was out with her on Tuesday for my birthday. But that's how what happened to me is I decided I am not only going to create this 24,000 person community for women over 40 and talk a lot about aging and ageism and multicultural, multi-generational teams on LinkedIn and everywhere I can, but also go and speak inside of corporations and organizations like this so that I can, in a backdoor way, erase ageism and say, hire us all. Because I don't know how many of you have had friends who have sent hundreds of resumes to get jobs that are over a certain age. It's a tragedy and it's a crisis in America. But let's talk about, so that's a little bit about how I ended up here. Here we go.
So what's this all about?
Cacheta games. I'm too old for this.
You just want me to say what people say about me.
Weird question, I guess.
My teacher says you'll grow out of it. It's just a phase.
It was never a phase. I never grew out of it.
I guess I'm too reckless, I don't know.
People like to talk very loudly to me.
They say I don't think things through.
You're looking still good for your age.
I'll figure it out when I'm older.
You are having a senior moment.
When the focus is on my age,
life seems to get a little bit harder.
It feels like I'm not given a chance.
I need to keep up.
Or get out of the way.
I lack experience.
Or too much experience.
I'm baggage.
Only weighing people down.
Looking at my age
like it is a disease.
Where I work, no one takes me serious.
It makes me feel powerless.
And it hurts.
When people see only my age.
Age. It shouldn't define you, regardless of if you're emerging talent or experienced talent. It should not ever define who you are and what you can do in the workplace. Here's my story. I'm going to fast forward through it. But this is what they thought. I'm 50. I think this is what they literally thought. I'm going to show up in a pantsuit to work. I'm not going to be a culture fit. I literally, and of course we all know Molly Shannon is a Gen Xer, but that's what they thought. Here is what Indeed said about emerging talent, and experienced talent. Can you believe this? Oh, if you're 21 to 25, those of you that raised your hand, oh, you're in your exploration phase of work. If you're in your establishment, that seems to be the sweet spot, 25 to 35. Mid-career, 35 to 45. That's when ageism starts hitting, the other side of ageism, the non-hireable side of ageism. Late-stage career, 45 to... Do you feel that you're in your late-stage career, my 45 to 55-year-olds in the room? Oh, and do you feel like you're on a decline if you're over 55? And they don't even cover those of us that are over 65. Oh, you should have seen this blow up all over LinkedIn. It hit Forbes, Fast Company. They got blown up. I sent a message to the director of marketing, or the VP of marketing, or sorry, CMO of marketing to Indeed in a very PC way, because I'm hoping that I can go in and teach them a little something. But this was an article that they posted and then reposted everywhere. Do you feel those? This is a mistake. Horrible. I was like, yeah, Indeed? What you talking about? I know the late stage millennials and the Gen Xers and the boomers get this one, and the traditionalists. What you talking about, Willis? That's what we were all saying on LinkedIn, all of us pro-agers, but emerging talent, 21 up Gen Zs, they are emerging talent. And when it meets people like us that are experienced in another way, nothing but the best. Let's talk about the Power of Four framework when it comes to bringing our teams together. We have to learn to understand the generations, understanding who we are and not laughing at one another when we're going old school or new school, talking about TikTok, the latest TikTok, or talking about Beastie Boys. I don't know, I just went there. I mean, come on. Each generation has truly shaped the world. Truly shaped the world today. And together, we're all reshaping it. We shouldn't allow marketing agencies, we shouldn't allow family members, we shouldn't allow anyone say that we're too old to do, to be, to want. Or you're too young to do, to be, to want. Or those of you in the middle, do not let anybody tell you any better, because we are reshaping the world. We are all cultural architects. We all have a different cultural background. We're all bringing something to the table, all of us. We need to be respectful of that. Number two is we've got to call out the isms, all sides of it. As I said, we have to cut out the they're too old. Oh, he's a technophobe. Here's another one. Oh, they're too green. Oh, she's entitled. All the things. We've got to call it out. This is a stage where when we're together, we're innovating together. So let's look at another video. Let's talk about ageism in another way.
All right. How you doing?
Hi, good.
Have you ever done this before?
No. It's exciting.
So tell me, how old are you?
19. 24.
29.
I'm 41. I'm going to be a mother for the first time.
42.
71.
I'm 74.
I'm ready.
Okay, so we're just gonna talk. You're gonna show me stuff. Do I need my glasses?
I'm going to show you some slides, and I'd like you to fill in the blank and put the words "for her age" at the end of the sentence.
All right.
She has flawless skin for her age.
Beautiful for her age. She looks better than most 20-year-olds for her age.
She looks great.
She is beautiful.
Fierce for her age.
In burlesque, I love it.
That might be a little bit inappropriate for her age.
Jane looks amazing for her age.
She doesn't look her age. She's pretty hot.
For her age.
For her age.
Her age. I'm going to show you some other slides now. So I'm just going to ask you to read the sentences that we provided for you.
Okay.
Nice.
She dances well for a white girl.
That's not nice at all.
It's just ridiculous.
She's rich for an immigrant?
No, that's so gross. She's funny for an Asian.
Oh my God, they're getting worse.
Well, this girl's half Asian, and me and her dad are pretty freaking funny, so she's gonna be funny.
She's pretty for a thick girl. I hate that. Beauty should not be defined by your size. Yeah, I hate that.
She drives well for a woman.
You can't think like that. And then you bring up your kids like that. Then you have a society like that. We got another one? Is it gonna be worse? There we are.
She looks good for her age.
So I didn't expect this to fall apart.
They're all the same, narrow-minded and ignorant.
I'm guilty. I say for her age all the time. It's harder to look good in your late 40s. You can be hot at 23 and you just roll out of bed.
Sometimes I think it's good and sometimes I don't.
I didn't realize I was really insulting anybody, because it's only because if someone says it to me, I think it's good.
It's not a compliment.
It's really like a backhanded compliment.
I think it is a bias. People are definitely labeled by their age.
I guess for her age is more commonly accepted. This is okay to say.
Which is like, why?
You look good is a lovely compliment, but to qualify it, you're saying, well, in comparison to the mainstream of beauty, you don't look good, but you look good for how old you are.
It's degrading.
I think everyone should understand this. I think people be treated differently.
Say you look good, period. Don't add for her age.
No, I'm going to leave the for your age part off.
Unless you're asked these questions, I don't think you have the mind to start this conversation.
You know what? Everyone's gonna get older.
Disrupt aging. It is literally saying when someone says, and I used to accept it. I used to accept it because my mom was the same. She was always telling her age to people, and they'd say, oh, you look good for your age. I used to accept it and thought it was a compliment. You know what it's saying? I'm old at a certain number. That's really what it means, when in actuality, I'm not old, and neither are any of you in the room. We have to practice generational solidarity and drop those kinds of labels. We have to resist those labels. How many of you will never say that again, by the way? You look good for your age, and yeah, everybody should raise their hand. And any other, things that they said inside of that. But age... That was actually my breaking news. Yes. We have to re-script those mental filters because let's think about it. Age does not equal ability or disability. It doesn't. We have to expand your circle. How many of you have multi-generational friends? Oh, this is like yesterday's. Yay, I'm kind of preaching to the choir today. I love that, but hopefully I'm having you rethink things. Hopefully I'm having some of you say, you know what, I'm going to listen to my grandmother's stories. She's not too old. I'm going to go visit my grandmother, or I'm going to listen to my mom or my kids. Listen to them. Expand your circle more. How about that? You have to embrace every voice because we all have one. We're all individuals, as I said. And we have to stand together against ageism. If you see it or feel it, and here's the thing, it's extremely hard to play out in the courts. So we have to band together. Ask any lawyer, and we all probably have plenty of those, as friends, I should say. But it is hard to prove unless you're documenting and doing all the things you don't want to do. You just want to do your job. So we need to stand together. If somebody makes a snide remark about Emily, or, Emily was the Gen, about Rob, or Margaret, or our Gen Zer. You have to find the funny, the human, and the real, no matter where you are in your career. You have to find it all, and you have to look past all of the things that you were ever told or that marketing campaigns have ever told. And listen, speaking of marketing, you can't reverse aging. How many ads do we hear from major cosmetics brands about that men, women, and they are all trying to put on their faces to reverse aging? Now listen, I don't care if you do Botox and all that other stuff, but you can't reverse aging. We have to stand up to that. So here's a question for the room. Let's find commonality in the room. Who has flown across the country to see a concert? It could be any one of these up here. Where'd you fly to? Oh, James, can we get, oh, did he, okay. Let's find it. Yes. Do you mind sharing? Okay. Where'd you fly to and your generation?
I am an elder millennial. And
I love how the millennials all do that. Do you notice that? Hey. I'm a younger millennial, because you're the largest, so I get it.
I'm in the 80s. Taylor Swift in London. I'm a Swiftie.
Girl, you really went all out. Okay. So we have who else? Share with us. If you have flown to, yes, here we go. Yes.
I did not fly, but I hitchhiked from Steamboat to Denver because I paid for concert tickets and I missed the one bus per day that goes from Steamboat to Denver.
To see who? And what's your generation?
I'm a millennial.
Millennial, and who'd you go to see? Who'd you do that to?
Polo and Pan, French DJs.
You go. Love it. Someone at this table wanted to share?
Also elder millennial. And I flew to Los Angeles to see Oasis.
To see Oasis? Oh, yeah, that was recent, wasn't it? Yeah, they're back. Okay, no Gen Xers? Well, I'm a Gen Xer. I flew to Minnesota to see Beyonce. How about that? And then I had to go see Prince's place. And then I cried. My family calls me Stormy. Every Southern family, black family, we all have nicknames. Mine was Stormy. My parents are from Texas originally, but born in France, raised in Colorado Springs. And so I cried when I walked in Prince's compound. And Beyonce, I was like, what am I doing? All right, go ahead. Yes. I don't care when it was.
But I flew to Chicago to see U2.
To see who?
U2.
U2.
And I'm a Gen Xer, so clearly.
I literally got chills. I remember when they came to, oh yeah, okay, yeah. All right, what about TV shows? TV shows. Now, did we see commonality between, there was no difference. We all have flown somewhere. Or I could even say you just went to Red Rocks to see a show. More than likely, there was a lot of generations in that show. Let's talk about Survivor, Netflix. I'm not going to say and chill because I know what it means. I found that out the wrong way. Survivor, Netflix, or are you a reality TV, Real Housewives? Let's do this. Who's reality TV junkies in the room? Okay, I see a few different generations. Okay, how many of you are Survivor? Want to go, oh, let's go even further. Who wants to go on Survivor? You, okay, our millennial. Over there, are you, what's your generation? Gen X, millennial. Uh-huh. She's really, and she's in her 40s, 50s, and she wants to get, see? She wants to be out there getting bug bites. Let's talk about TikTok, YouTube. I mean, you're probably, how many of you in the room are on TikTok? Even if you're just a voyeur. Okay, does anybody own a podcast or have a podcast in the room? Because you know everybody has a podcast. Well, of course you have a podcast. What is it? So we can all tune in. I'm sure it's funny.
It's through the partnership. It's called the Partnership Podcast. It's about business interests in this valley.
Love it. What's it called? Oh, it's called that, the Partnership Podcast. Mine's called The House of Middle Essence. I need to get better at filming and recording because I love to do interviews, but I always, life is lifing. But we have commonalities is the point. And so it really is a booming Gen X, Millennial Z world we live in. We need to accept it. We need to embrace it. There's no greater time than today for us to want to be together, for us to want to support one another, regardless of you know what. Who cares what your affiliations are, your race, your creed? There's no better time than today for us to own who we are, but also love on one another, regardless of the year that we were born, because we're really like a good box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. We're all individuals in this room. By the way, I'm a tech junkie too. Whew. Anything new? Look at me, this is my clicker. Just came out on Canva. Loving it. The future truly is multi-generational. So we have to embrace that now. And I'm so thrilled that I get to share this message with you today to such an intergenerational crowd. There's no better time. So here's your assignment. I hope you're not like her. Oh, God. And then she's really into it. I want you to audit, if you're a company owner, manager, or you lead a team, you should really be auditing your culture, examining your hiring language. You should be figuring out how many generations are getting promoted. Now listen, this isn't about hiring because they're a certain age. Not in the least. This is truly about diversity, equity, inclusion, if you understand what that means, and belonging. Once you have DEI in place and we all feel equal, then and only then will you have belonging. Diversity, equity, inclusion means handrails. That's what diversity, equity, inclusion is. So I just want to make sure that you think about those things. Start an experience exchange. Celebrate everyone's return on experience. Celebrate it all. Normalize aging. Now listen, you can't talk about age in the workplace, but if you're out having happy hour, drinks, whatever, old school happy hour, because gosh, we're all in our own lives these days. Get out there and let's normalize aging. That 850 billion, that's what it represents. Age discrimination cost the United States economy $850 billion in 2018. Can you only imagine what that number is today? Because for most in COVID that lost their jobs, it was the great push out. It was the great push out of people over a certain age. And then there were those who said, I'm pushing myself out. I want to be my own boss. 850 billion in 2018. It's a crisis that's happening. I want to leave you with this. Embrace aging. It's human. It's an absolute privilege. And it's all about living. You woke up today. Some didn't have that opportunity. You are truly blessed, if I may say that. Just embrace whatever chapter number you are sitting at today, because it is a miracle that you were able to walk through the doors today. Aging is truly living. And I want to say thank you for having me today. I always enjoy sharing these types of things. I understand last year you had longer tables. Tim Jones, I'm an advisor of his, and Google longer tables. It's about bringing people together, breaking bread. Here's where you can find me. Oh, I knew that was going to happen towards the end. Stand by. I got my trusty little. It's 3. You're right. You're close, though. Mm-hmm. Is there a thing? I don't have kids. Is there a terrible 3? I don't know. I just have a 5-pound dog who's back at the condo. It is 3. I just learned that from an organization, a Colorado organization called Next 50. Mm-hmm. And they are a nonprofit organization based in Denver, but it's a national organization. I had a conversation with them and learned, and here I am in the industry. I had no clue. You know why? Because we're given messages like, back in the day, we used to play Old Maid. Literally, Old Maid. And, or the lady in the shoe, and she's got, and so I think when it comes to having those inside of the schools, don't allow those types of things. Don't do older person day. We didn't do it in my high school or junior high or element. I don't know where that even came from, but we don't do, it's the little things. Right. And it's also showcasing older adults in a different way, because I think we all did think of our teachers regardless as old, because we're that age. And so I think it's breaking down those barriers sooner than later, in a sense.
And maybe asking, I think about this in my work on polarization, like how do you lean into the positivity of the different age ranges? Like you can say, well, you have a completely different perspective, a fresh perspective on something because you haven't been doing this for 30 years or whatever. Tell us what your perspective is. How do you see it? How do you see it differently?
That was an even better answer.
Oh, no. All of the above.
I think that's exactly it. And it's bringing into conversation age inclusion, sort of what you're saying, earlier inside of the classrooms, but also the internships that when you're having an intern. I have an intern, I had a previous intern who, I like to give this example of intergenerationality. She and I just went to have drinks. We hadn't seen each other in a year or so. She was my intern when she was 25. She's now 35 with a child. Taylor and I met for cocktails for a good kiki with 2 girlfriends. Do you know age never came up? It literally, and we're 24 years apart. It was like nothing was, there really wasn't anything different. So I think it's the classrooms, it's internships, and of course, further on into the workplace.
Yeah. So I'm interjecting a question that we didn't prepare, but I know you can handle it. You are very good at handling things on the fly when that music came on. You're like, all right, it's my breaking news music. But when you hear ageism in a place, like how do you do that in the moment? Like how do you respond? Because I think that's what we all tend to be scared about, like when we're in a place and we hear racism or ageism, or how do we correct it in the moment? Do you have any good phrases for us?
It happened, rarely does it happen to me in person anymore, because even all my friends and everybody. But when it did happen, I guess it just depends. But I do shut it down in a very PC way. That is such a good question. Because there's HR ways that you can answer it. Again, I'm not HR, so I wouldn't know how to answer in certain ways. But I just say, depending on what it is, I say, but why do you think that? What makes you think that so-and-so is too old to start a company? What makes you think that? Just curious. So the minute they start to answer, I say, well, why should age matter then? If it's just starting a company, if anything, they have all that experience behind them, and pattern recognition, and judgment, and critical thinking, and the mistakes, and being called to the boss's office from those mistakes, And so that's such a great question. I think it just depends, because there's so many ways that it shows up silently, and then there's other ways. Someone the other day mentioned they said something about their hair color, and because he's all gray and he's only mid-40s. And he said, yeah, it's from all, the worry of the work or whatever. I go, and I so wanted to shut it down, but he was the client. So, I didn't want to correct in that moment. It was not the right time. But I did sort of address it inside of the presentation without him knowing. But because you could be gray, I started growing this. I didn't even know it until I started thinking about it. This started coming in my late 20s. I didn't own it until 52 or so. And even then, by the way, here's ageism.
Yeah.
I was having a birthday dinner with my friends, and I was contemplating, do I keep it or do I not? Half of my girlfriends said, it makes you look your age, it makes you look older, and they know they can be honest with me. And I wasn't entirely pro-aging at that time. And then the other half said, I like it, I think it's sexy, I think it's cool. Sorry, I did use the S word after all. I think it's cool.
That was the S word. I thought the S word was silver. I was like, why is silver a bad
Sorry,
word?
teachers. Obviously, I kept it. Also, what matters to me is what my mom thinks. My mom thinks it's cool too.
Awesome. I love
But yeah, so that's one of those moments of ageist bias. And
well, and I think teachers and educators are really good at this. This is something you can lean into. Like in that case,
you guys get the questions.
I know.
Can't even imagine.
And you can lean into the positivity of it. Like if someone says, oh gosh, you've been doing this for so long, or something that's kind of implicit like that. You can step in and say, well, I really want to hear what Barbara has to say, because Barbara has been doing this for, she has so much expertise and experience, and I would really like to hear what she has to say about that. So you can lean into the positivity of the experience. Yes. Or, that gentleman who said, I have all this gray hair because of work. You can say, God, you've had the privilege of working for 44 years, and you've gained so much knowledge and experience from that you must have a wealth of knowledge to share with everybody. Right. So kind of leaning into the positive side of it.
Well, and the other thing too is, after J-Lo did the Super Bowl with Shakira, I posted about it inside of my community of Second Act Women, and it's a global community, mostly, of course, about 80%, 70% Coloradans and the rest from all over. And we had a couple of people trolling the comment, which we don't allow inside of our community. We get enough of that in the real world. We don't need, negativity inside there. And so I had to send private DMs to them and also take the comments out. But, they said, some of the women, because these are women over 40, said, I think they were too old to dress that way. Because remember, they were dressed very, and remember the video and how the one woman said she looks great? Didn't say for her age? Mm-hmm. That's what we have to, when you have examples of Cher and J-Lo and Halle Berry, who, by the way, has a menopause company, and Jane Fonda and all these women who are now showing up on runways with their gray hair. To me, that's more inspirational than ever before. That's showing that we can dress. I almost wore some leather pants today, but I need to wear them tomorrow for photos with my girlfriends, because we're doing a girls' weekend in Breckenridge. But that's another form of you shouldn't be wearing that. Well, why can't I dress with? You'll catch me with a mini skirt at times. These are my assets, or my legs.
That's right. You go. Love it. We have one more question, then we're going to open it up to you all. So be thinking about what you want to ask Barbara. But as we think about the future of work, what opportunities do you see when organizations fully embrace these multi-generations, these 5 generations in working?
Okay.
We saw what was it, 380 billion or something?
Yeah. There's the 850 billion. Yeah. No, it's okay. When we are embracing it, there's a stronger chance of innovation, as I said, creativity, productivity, and you business owners, it's a win-win because your bottom line goes up. Because suddenly we feel, again, as I said earlier, that we belong, that we truly are one team, and forget about it, the ages. And so when you have a multi-generational workplace, you get diverse thinking. That's why there's innovation and creativity and productivity, because we're all coming with fresh ideas. By the way, you'll never hear me say fresh ideas are coming from Gen Zs. We all have fresh ideas. My brain never stops. I swear to goodness, had I not
believe that.
I know. I wish I would have been set. How many of you were like constant learners these days? Right? Well, of course, you're teaching. What am I thinking? But still, I wish I would have been studying, or as much as I read and want to learn, and all the YouTubers that I pay attention to and all the things, my grades would have been a lot better at CSU, I can tell you that. But yeah, so you get all of that. You get problem solving and customer insight. Because if you have a shop or a store, and or you have people that are working for you have customers, your customers just may be multi-generational. So you need that thinking inside of your corporation to mirror your customer. How else are you going to grow your bottom line? Right? I mean, your revenue model may just be, talking to 4 or 5 different kinds of people. If you are a store owner, hello, you probably have everybody coming through there.
And it's the same for educators, right? That's my job, connect this all to education, right? I mean, we need to be showing that strength in multi-generational learning, teaching, engagement throughout our classrooms. We need to model that early so that we can do it in the workforce later.
Yeah. Is that our time? Is that like the call to?
I know. It's like,
is that music? Oh,
okay.
Well, I thought it was our 90 seconds remaining.
No, I think that's just maintenance.
Well, maintenance, but we will take questions from the audience now. So,
questions for Barbara or Katie.
Yeah, Anna's gonna run with the mic. All right, we got something.
Yay, we have
here.
one.
Over here.
I missed it.
She missed it. Put it, there we go. Thank you. Loud and proud.
As she's walking, also retention goes up.
Yeah.
Because we all feel like we belong. So you have people wanting to be in the workplace.
Hi, I'm Katie.
Hi, Katie.
Woo,
What generation are you?
So many Katies today.
Yeah, good Katies. So my question
Do you want to share your
is-
generation?
Gen X.
It's okay. You don't have to.
No, I'm Gen X.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yep.
I did forget to say that at the beginning. You don't have to share your
I'm happy to
Some
share
people
it.
aren't aging out loud like me.
Yeah, I'm happy to share it. So I'm a lifelong learner, so I'm like, with the communication, you've got all these different generations. Do we ever kind of consider human behavior in all of this? Because
do we also say that one more time?
Consider human behavior.
Oh.
So I've been learning a lot about human behavior, and it's like, I'm having a much better time communicating with people of all generations because I'm starting to understand human behavior a little bit more. And so I'm wondering if that's something that you've been considering or you've looked into, or as far as the communication goes, not just the way the generations are laid out, but how they communicate as a human being, no matter what their age is.
Thank you for giving me yet something else to read a book on. Appreciate it, because that's actually a good point. Is I'm seeing human behavior when I'm out and about, and usually before events, I actually like to talk to people beforehand, and then I've got a community of 24,000 women, as I said, across all platforms. I'm a marketer, so I have to give the big number. But I know what the women are thinking inside of this, the 40-plussers. But I personally need to hear more from, and I have a multi-generational group of friends as well. But we do need to have more deeper conversations. That's a great point. So I'm a truth teller, so I'm going to say no, but I need to. I like that.
Well, and I would add a little bit to that too. I mean, we talk about that in terms of conflict, like how does human behavior interact with when we're in conflict or we disagree with each other, and there are some things to think about there. First of all, connecting on a human level, being curious, not judgmental, and then we talk about in conflict as setting some ground rules. So one thing is just to be explicit. Like when I was the head of the state agency, I was working with multi-generations. So I said, how do you prefer to communicate? Do you prefer text? Like if I need to get a hold of you, do you prefer text? Do you prefer a phone call? Do you prefer an email? So sometimes we just make too many assumptions. We don't ask the question, like, how do you want to communicate?
That's all it takes is a question, isn't it? Isn't that fascinating? And boom, you got the answer.
Yeah, and then it helps a lot. We have one down back here. Thank you.
My name is
hair.
Hi, my name is Magda King. I'm 47, and I also chose my hair white, so I guess I'm a Gen X. I was actually
my silver sister.
There you go. I was actually going to ask a question, but you just answered it. However, I wanted to share something with you in regards to the age diversity. So I work for the Antlers at Vail, where you are staying, and we embraced very much the age diversity. And it has been amazing. We purposefully, we have 80-year-old people working with us, with people that are 25, 23, with everything in between. And one of the things that I have noticed is that there is a lot of respect and maybe fear as to how to address to each other without offending each other. Because when we bring someone in, we say, okay, this is going to be, we have a lot of white hair and then a lot of super younger with, TY is an example, or LOL, or, those acronyms where my older or, more mature employees say, well, what does this mean? So we have made actually a fun like fun experiences out of it, how to communicate, how to refer, for example, an older person may forget something. So how can we address that when a younger person didn't think of something that another person may think? So every Thursday, we actually have a powwow where we put on the table everything that we find from each other. So what you're saying, I think, is great. And there is a blog about it if you want to check it at the Endlers about the age diversity and how we work on that. So thank you.
That's wonderful.
Thank you for that. I love that.
Magda is our local
Y'all
resident.
can share. You
She's
don't
our
have to just
resident
ask
unicorn. So, any other questions?
Our Gen Y.
No, I'm Gen X.
Gen X, that's right.
Proudly Gen X. Like several people in here, I teach middle school. And so that's Gen Alpha. Is that Gen Alpha? Or middle school is Gen Alpha?
Is middle schoolers Gen Alpha? Like, what's the age range?
Or they,
you
younger?
Oh, you know what? Their age, the years that they were born, it was on my thing, I believe is 2013. 12 to 2025. So if they were born, then they're Gen Alpha.
So thinking about communication.
Oh, yeah, so they are. Yeah, boom.
They have their completely own way of communicating. And if you're a middle school teacher, you know we have to learn a totally new language. They are the kings and queens of meme and TikTok lingo. So I've learned, like, I have to kind of be on top of all of that language, like 6, 7, and I'm an unk, and all of that stuff to even understand what they're saying and kind of build that relationship. But I was just wondering what you all thought about this whole new world of language. Like, I actually have to do research, like, to stay on top of it and know what they're saying. So I was just curious what you thought about this whole new world that they're bringing into it of communication.
Ooh, that's a good one for you, because I always also wonder about AI, which I'm a super user of. Mine is called Chloe. My bot is called Chloe.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I think that's for you.
Well, thanks a lot. No, I'm just kidding. No, first of all, thank you for being a middle school teacher. I always say that.
Oh, yes, I agree. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
As someone who comes from a full military family, that is the same. Thank you for your service.
As Commissioner of Education, I was like, middle school people are an amazing group of people. So love you.
I watch Abbott Elementary, so I'm getting a taste of what you guys go through.
But I would say you're doing it, right? I mean, the thing for me is lean into the positivity of difference, right? Lean into the positivity of diversity in all its forms. So you say, that's so cool that you speak like that. I have no idea what you're talking about. Teach me. So ask the middle schoolers to teach you, which you're doing, and then you're looking. I'm doing that too, not even with middle schoolers, but with all the LOL and things. People text me, I'm like, I do not know what that means. I was like, so I have to Google it. What does that mean? Oh, it means catch you later or whatever. So to me, it's leaning in a positive way to diversity and showing people that diversity is strength, and whether it's diversity in how they're communicating with you, whether it's diversity in their age, whether it's diversity in where they come from or the religion that they come from, lean into that in a positive way and be curious about it. And when you're curious, it infects people in a positive way, because you say, oh, you care about me. You're asking about me. You're asking about how I communicate. And so that's...
I think with curiosity also comes empathy and respect for one another and all those things. Yes, and so thank you for that. You did say something. I wish I had my pen to write it down. But
I think it sounds like a business opportunity, and I call dibs. So I think we have time for one more question. Is there anybody on this side of the room?
Okay, anybody over here?
Right up here.
Oh, we got one.
So I was earlier this week at a climate summit, and one of the features was some of the students from Montana who sued their state and won at the Supreme Court because the state constitution guarantees the right to a clean and healthy environment. The Supreme Court said, we agree, the government is not providing that to you. So amazing kids. One of the things that they said, because relative to this amazing thing, was that they are kids, and they did this. And one of the insights was, please don't tell us we're so excited that you all are stepping up for this generation. There's two problems with that. That's a ton of pressure. We're doing this just because we think this is the right thing. All of a sudden you're saying we're the salvation. And the other is, but we need you guys. Like, what's all this? Like, I'm 17. What are you guys doing? So rather than thinking, what would I say instead? Because I've got like, that's so impressive, because they're young. Instead of that, in your talk, what I'm thinking is, I need to figure out a new mindset for all those situations. How should I be thinking so that I'm recognizing what they need and still recognizing my need to be excited about it and tell people?
I mean, I can start. The first thing that
Way to go for those kids, by the way. But such a good point, the pressure that we put even before. Sorry, I just thought of something, because even when as you're saying that, I had to write down, the pressure that we put on them, that is a lot for us to say, the pressure's on you to vote or to do this or to do that or, pull us out, whatever it may be. That is pressure on them, isn't it? I never thought about that before. Huh. And they already have a lot going on with social media and all the other things and mental health, and they don't need any more.
Yeah. And so I'm a big both and person.
A big what?
Both and. So it's both that you can encourage them for being young and engaged and energetic and doing this amazing thing that is amazing even if you're an adult. And, encouraging other generations and others, saying you are modeling, unfortunately or not, for all of the generations that need to be doing similar things like this. So I don't feel like I don't know. I feel like you should still honor them for being young and engaging, because they're modeling for other young people too. And so I think you can still encourage that, and whether it's seen as pressure or excitement or whatever, but it's also saying, you're right, all of this doesn't fall on your shoulders, and we all need to step up for it. That's not a perfect answer, but we sort of all need to be putting pressure on all of the generations to step up in different ways.
Yeah.
I think there is no perfect answer, and I think that's why we're having this discussion today, is we need to talk about it. It needs to stop being the elephant in the room and start being a normal conversation that we have. So I want to say thank you so much to Barbara and to Katie. Give them one more round of applause.